It's Cami. How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. And I am just going to be talking to you today about attracting your audience and all of the pieces that you have to do as you go along. And so, one of the things that I found to be really true whenever you are like sales on social media is that people are always going straight for the sale, right? You're going directly for that sale. You have a boss that wants you to actually get results for what you do, or maybe you are the one that's like, I can't, I'm not getting enough results from this, and you want to make sure that you're getting those results. And sometimes we just forget a lot of the steps. And so I want to go through what I see as the steps for that, because there's a lot of psychological things that go along with that, and understanding how that works. And so those, I want to talk with you about those today, make sure that you're doing that. I also want to make sure my audio is on a good thing here. So hopefully you're hearing me. Yep, it's on the Logitech. That's good. That is not good. So let me get this on the right thing here real quick. Logitech camera. No, it's on the webcam. Okay, good. I just want to make sure you can hear me well. So I'm going to go and just jump right into this. And we all hear about funnels, right? You're supposed to have a funnel, and you're like, well, I know I need a funnel. And a lot of people talk about funnels in different ways. They talk about them as being landing pages with like upsells and downsells and all that. I'm not really talking about that here today. What I'm talking about here today is the funnel that you bring a customer through the whole customer journey. So you cannot hear. Okay. So that is not good. Let me actually, I've got a different microphone. I'm going to plug it in, and hopefully we'll do better with this microphone. Just give me a second. Give me a minute. I am worried about that too. The mic. All right. Sorry about this. Beautiful. Do you guys hear that now? Let me know if you hear me. I think you should be able to hear now. Should be able to hear it at this point. So what we're going to be talking about today is really about the whole customer journey. And a lot of times we go right to the sale. Like we feel like we want to have all of this results, and our bosses want us to have results, and we are putting a lot of pressure on ourselves about the results. And that's really what I want to make sure of. Yeah, thank you. You can hear me good. I think that I just had the wrong mic on. I was a little worried about that. So anyway, I'm going to really go through that whole process from beginning to end and kind of how I see it. So a lot of people see a funnel, and that's what I'm going to be talking about is a funnel as like a landing page, upsell, a downsell. And the truth is that, yeah, that is definitely funnels. People sell them like that. But what I'm talking about today is the customer journey. And I think of that as a funnel, like a bigger funnel. Let's call it the macro funnel instead of the micro funnel, which is right at the end where you're getting that sale. And those are important, and making sure the technology pieces are in place. But what's more important is the customer journey that you're bringing people along. And so I've thought about this for a lot of years in different ways, but what I'm going to present to you today is sort of around that idea. So let me share my screen with you real quick here so that you can see what I am talking about. So I have an entire, there's two pieces to the funnel in my mind. Okay, so we're at the attractor stage. Oh, by the way, this is part of an entire video series that I am going to give you the link for, so you can get all of these videos going all the way from Explorer through Innovator. And next week is our last video in this series. So you definitely want to go back and get the entire series. If you're interested in this, I will give you the link here in just a minute, but I just want to get right into the content. So this is the whole thing, and I'm going to explain this slide to you and break it down as we go. And there's two pieces to it. It's like, one is the things that people are reacting to, and the other part is what you're doing to get them to react. And so the top part, which is steps 1 through 5, that's your part. Okay, that's what you have to do to get people's attention. So you have to have your content, what I call your visibility content, which we actually went over in a video that came before this one, and how you create that content and what you do. And then where you send them, which is usually what people talk about, is that funnel, that quick win, maybe a free thing that you give them or something that you manage. That's the next step. And then collecting their leads, that's having maybe some kind of autoresponder. I use ConvertKit myself for that. And then you want to have some offers for people. So that's going to be a really important part too, and I'll talk about every single step in this, guys, along the way. So don't worry. And then social proof. So you have to go through all of these 5 steps to have a really, really powerful touch point for your entire customer journey. And I'm going to explain all those little pieces underneath: attention, awareness, action. That is your audience or your clients or your customer. That is where they come in. So I'm going to show you how these two come together and where they are. And I'll show you their next slide, which is really about that process. So you initiate something, right? An activity, you do an activity. And at any given time, this is something that I was saying in the promo for this, your audience, there's only 1 to 3% of your audience or people that are listening to you that are like saying, yeah, I'm here to buy something. And that's not very many people. That is just not very many people. So if you go straight in for a sale, yeah, you might, get that cream off. That's a lot of the reason people say that they do spammy emails, is because they get a certain percentage. So if you send out thousands and thousands of emails and 1 or 2% of people like take you up on the offer every time, you're going to continue to do that. And unfortunately, that number used to probably be higher, but as we've kind of worn people out, that number gets lower and lower and lower and lower. So that's really number one to kind of understand, is that people are, not really 100% ready to buy from you like the second you come out to them, especially not on social media, because at the social media level, we're at the highest level of what I call the funnel, which is this one right here. And I'll show you what it is. And that's really that next one, which is attention, right? So at social media, what you're really doing is you're just starting to get people's attention. They don't even really know who you are yet necessarily. You may have a group of people that do, and that's at the awareness stage. We'll talk about that in a minute. But at that attention stage, you're just catching their eye. You're just stopping the scroll. You'll say stopping the scroll, stopping the thumb, whatever. You're doing something that's going to stop their searching, and they're going to just give you a little bit of attention for a second, which is, that's why the first 30 seconds of any video is really important, which is sad because mine didn't have audio today. Oh, well, whatever. Anyway, but that's what I'm saying. You have that very quick time to get people's attention and bring them in. And so that's the time that you want to be really, really thinking about that content. And so I told you before that is going to be along the lines of what you're going to have to do with your clients to get them to start to pay attention to you, is you're going to have some visibility content. And I showed you that in the last slide. So at this attention level right here, what you really are getting at is this activity level. So you're doing your tweets, your comments, your outreach, your response times. All of that is really important at this level. That is what you do to get people in. That's your content that you're putting in, that you're taking your time with to make sure it's really, really, really good, and that you are providing value, right? And so all of the things that you do here are really, really important. A lot of people will stop measuring their success at this, but I've done this much content. But the next step is really important too, which is really around that visibility content. And so at that point, you're getting their attention. It's also for awareness of people that know you really well. That's important as well. And I'll pull this so you can see it. And then the actions that they're taking. So some people will take action at the visibility content. It absolutely will happen from time to time. They aren't. Okay. So 1 to 3% of people might take action at that stage, not more. And even on your email list, that's true. So realize that and have realistic expectations at the social media level. So get that visibility content out there. You're doing great stuff. And then they might, click on your profile and click on a link in your profile to see what you're all about. And at that time, you need to make sure that you have something there for them that they can then sample you. So, it doesn't have, it can be a free thing. It can be a very low cost thing, although the low cost thing will screen out more people because again, most people aren't ready to buy from you yet. It can be videos. It can be whatever. I have an example of it today because I told you I've put together for you guys a entire video series, which is this video series in a back end, something like that, something with a lot of really, this is it. You can go get it there. The Bitly pathway video series. Bitly is where I have it stored. So you can go there and take a look at it. But when you get there, you have to have something there that's sort of a quick win for them. That means something that will get them some results and get it quick. quickly for them so that they can really, say, hey, I really got a lot out of this particular person. So that quick win is really important. And at that stage, then you're going to go to what I call the awareness stage, which I'm going to go back here and show you that. But the awareness stage is really about when people start to interact with you. They're starting to leave comments. That's really that whole interaction piece where they're leaving comments. They're doing all kinds of things like that. And that is going to be really, really important for you to get to that point with your audience where they are absolutely understanding what you're up for. I'm trying to get back to that slide so I can show it to you. But I think that's really important part of what you do next. And that's really when they engage with you. So let me pull that up. I'm going to put this in here one more time so that we got it in here for you. So let me open my slideshow. So in the end of the day, you're going to want to make sure that they're starting to engage with you at that point. And when they start to engage with you, that's when they're starting to build awareness. And they don't get to that until almost the third step. Do you see that? If you look at that really right there, you do some things, you go out there and you do this great content, you get their attention, you catch their eye, and then they start to engage with you. They start to, connect with you and really look at what you're doing as important to them. So once you've caught their eye, that's great. But then you come to this awareness. And I talk about conversation rate at that point, amplification, like how much do they share your stuff? How many times do they comment on your stuff? The applause are like your likes and loves, depending on the platform. And then how many times they come back, do they continue to come and interact with you and, engage with you and grab your information. And so that's that awareness stage. And at that stage, you're really going to start to see them thinking about like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to give you my email, or I'm ready to engage with you just a little bit deeper. And then once you get there, I call it collecting leads or interest. Some people don't even do this in email. I've seen people do this really successfully by just saying, hey, if you're interested in this, could you DM me? So I've seen that work really well too. If you're not looking at trying to have a huge, sort of reaction, like, do you need hundreds of leads or do you need 2 or 3 leads? I have a social media marketing agency, and we don't really need hundreds of leads to get our clients in order. We just don't need that many because even if we had hundreds of leads, we wouldn't be able to definitely necessarily service those leads, right? So you want to think about what is it you really need. And we get caught up in like how many people are following us and like all of that stuff. And in the end of the day, I mean, it's maybe not important for what you're doing. Or maybe it is. So like if you're selling lots of widgets, you may need a lot more people to engage with you and get onto your list than say I would with my agency. For my social media marketing mastery class, we are doing a training course for PR and marketing consultants, and it's really an ongoing thing. I'll need a few more than I need for my agency. So you have to think about creating the right sort of engagement piece to get people into your world and make sure it's the right thing. Because I'm not going to be sending a bunch of emails out to my potential clients for the agency so much. I might, but it would be, what would that email have in it? That kind of an email would be stuff like, the latest in social media trends and sort of explaining to them why it's important for them to be having a service like ours to run their social media. Or, I often work with actual communicators, VPs and communications directors of companies, and we serve as an extension of their team. And so for them, it's like, how can I help them to look good? Like they're overwhelmed with everything they have to do. So you have to think about who your client is. I'd love to know in the comments, like who you kind of see your clients as being, who are you trying to reach on social media? That would be cool to know for me too. So let me kind of go back into this. I'm going to get back to where I was. I kind of lost my place. So you've got their attention. You are, you've got their awareness. You're starting to connect with them. They're starting to talk to you a lot. You're looking at that engagement rate and so forth. And then as that goes on, you get to the point where you have a smaller subset. It's always a smaller subset that I would call advocates or
customers in many ways. They're going to be your advocates. They're going to be people that know you very well, and they're going to have actually nice things to say about you and what you do. And I call this like advocates or advocacy. If you're in the nonprofit space, it would be advocacy, where they're advocating for you. But that's when people start to have conversations about you. Before, they were having conversations with you on social media, but now they're going to start having conversations about you, whether you're there or not. Meaning they might say, hey, you should talk to Cami, or you should talk to anybody else. So yeah, okay, great, Charla. Thank you for helping me out there. Charla says she'd like to reach other entrepreneurs who need clear written communications. That's beautiful. So to give that example, what's going to happen, Charla, at this stage for you, at this attitudes advocacy stage, is that once you start having these entrepreneurs that they've had your writing help them to be amazing, they're going to start saying, hey, you should talk to Charla to get your writing done, because she's really helped me to get my writing, to get my message out there. And so they're going to start to talk about you. And so you'll see that. You'll see people tagging you on social media, even if they're not talking directly to you. They're giving your @ to some other people so other people can find you. And this is a really good place to be. Of course, this is where testimonials come in. This is where customer satisfaction comes in, all of that. And so when people start to talk about you and about your work to other people online or offline, through emails or other places, this is where you're trying to get your customer. And at that point, your customer is really at that point where you can start to think about giving them your offers. I mean, it all comes together. You've got your leads, you've got your offers. And inside of that, this is really once they start sampling your offers, then they give you all of that information. You see how it brings you to social proof. So right here is you're going to start to get in that advocacy stage. You've got a lead, you've got an offer that they've taken advantage of, and you have the social proof from them. So it's a good time to ask them for a testimonial. I think a lot of us are afraid to do that. We don't ask for the testimonial. And I think the testimonial is a really important part of what you do in your business, because having those testimonials really will help you get there. So after you go through that stage, you're going to get to this point where, you've done your due diligence. You've got your content, as we discussed. You've brought in attention. You've caught their eye. They start to engage with you. They're having conversations with you in that case. And then they're having conversations about you, which we just went over. And then finally, they're taking actions. And so the action step can come, it doesn't have to be last. Okay. So usually, it'll come somewhere in this attitudes and actions area. But at that point, when people take action and they start working with you, that is the point you want to bring all the people to, right? You want to bring them to that point. And at that point, you want to really give them amazing experiences, right? You want to get them to buy, sign up, take action. This is where you get your ROI. This is when you start to look at things like customer lifetime value. Like I usually have our clients usually stay with us for years, like years. We'll have clients for 5, 10 years. And that is like a huge customer lifetime value. So you want to create amazing, amazing experiences at this stage where you're going to be, really making people come back to you over and over and over again. And they are going to be your biggest fans, right? So that's how it goes. Well, hello, good morning, Russ. So let's see who else is here. Tamika's still here. I don't know if Kim's still here. Hi, guys. So great. Oh, yeah, they couldn't hear me earlier, but that's good. And Russ, hi. And Charla and Mom. Hey, there's my mom too. Cool. So in the end of the day, this is what you want. You want to have them taking action with you. You want them really connecting with you. And you want to think of this as a journey. Okay. So this is the journey. You're going to do your visibility content. You're going to get them to a quick win. You're going to get them to collect leads and get their interest up. You're going to put in your offers, and then you're going to do some social proof around that. And I did put underneath all the different places. So, you're getting their attention, you're getting their awareness, you're getting them to take action. And their attitudes are really important too. So I've kind of put what goes in each stage usually, but understanding that they're not all at the same place is so, so important. So you can now, with this knowledge, you can create your messaging to talk to specific people at specific stages. Does that make sense to you guys? So it's not like you're one messaging everybody out there. You're talking to people at the different stages where they are with you right now. And I think that is so, so important. Sharon, great. Yes. Hi, how are you this morning? My ideal create or service new renewable energy products, small energy systems, and organizations that serve sustainable businesses. Right. And so, like at each stage, Sharon, like where would they be? So, like at the visibility content stage, how would you attract them in? Like, what is it that you're going to be talking about? We've talked about this a little bit, I know, behind the scenes, but you're going to be talking about like your take on energy and renewable energy systems right now, out in social media, in public places where people will engage with you and they'll have conversations with you about these issues. And then you've got to have something that's a quick win for them, something that they could go and download. Like, here are the things that you need to make sure you're weaving into your messaging about, renewable energy, something like that, as if they were going to do it themselves. In the end, they aren't all going to do it themselves. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to say. I'm so glad you brought this up, Sharon. Anyway, so if you are your quick win or your quick taste, I'll put that up here again. That's really important, that you put something out there that shows people sometimes how to do it themselves. Like, even if you're trying to sell your service, it's good for you to have something where they could do it themselves if they wanted to. Because, and I know this seems counterintuitive, I know a lot of people hold all of their IP to themselves. They're like, oh my gosh, this is, you don't want to do this. But you do, because in the end of the day, many of them will go through the whole process and then they'll just say to you, anyway, here, you go do it for me. It's happened to me so many times. I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me that people will just say, hey, you can just do it for me because this seems like really hard. So, they love to know how. They love to know that you've done it. You haven't held anything back. I've always found that this way is the way to go, because some people will go out and do it themselves. And you know what? It's fine. Let them go do it themselves. And in the end of the day, they may recommend people to you. If somebody says, how did you do this? They'll say, I don't do it, but I know that Cami does it. So why don't you go get her to do? You're going to get referrals that way. You're going to get all kinds of things that way. So I really do feel like it's okay to give more than you think is like prudent sometimes. And that's just, in my, so many years of experience, I found that it hasn't hurt me even a little bit to give away more than people expect. In fact, it's done the opposite. It really shows that you are a person that is not afraid of your own expertise, not afraid of losing your expertise just because you share it. Anyway, so I'm sorry, that was a little bit of a rant, but so you want to make sure you have that quick win there, that people can download something and do something and make it simple, so that it's here's the thing. If you make it too complicated, they won't do it and they'll download it and then they won't remember you anyway. So you want to make it like just almost one thing for them to do. Download it, watch these videos. Like, I'm giving you guys a video series, right? Go watch the videos. It's not going to be something that's, going to take too much of your time. And then you want to collect that lead, and then you want to nurture that lead through emails, through reaching out to people, whatever it is you decide to do. It depends on how big your list needs to be in order to be successful. And then you want to have offers. I did kind of make mistakes with this for a long time, that I only had like one really big ticket offer. And so I've definitely fixed that in my system now. I have another offer that's a little bit more affordable, which is coming up. So if you're a PR or marketing consultant and you're interested in hanging out with a group of other PR and marketing consultants, we are opening the doors to Smart Social Mastery in just about 2 or 3 weeks. So definitely let me know, DM me and let me know you're interested. And definitely, that's what you need to do too. You need to think about, like, how can you serve your ideal customer at all stages, or at least the stages that you can, do. You want to have multiple ways for people to work with you. And then social proof. In the end of the day, you need to have people that are willing to say, yeah, she's done a great job for me, or he's done a great job for me. And that's what you want to do. And asking for those testimonials in real time. So like, if somebody's like loving what you do, saying, hey, do you mind making that into a testimonial? It's a step that I find that we're a little bit nervous to take. Like, we're afraid to ask people to do that. But if you do it right in the moment when they're like kind of expressing that to you right there, it actually goes pretty well. So I found that that's a lot easier to ask right in the moment than to wait. If you wait, then you probably won't do it. So having those testimonials are there, and that is the whole process, guys. It's really, I know that, I kind of have tried to break this down in a way that makes it somewhat simple. But I know that there's a lot on these slides. So definitely make sure you grab the video series, because I have it on a private page where you can go back and look at it multiple times. And yeah, it really is about that. It's about the activities you do, the attention you get, catch people's eye, the engagement they have with you, the conversation they have about you, and then what they do, those actions that they take and the actions you ask them to take. So yeah, that's it for today. I just wonder if you have any questions. I'm going to check real quick. Yes, Charlotte, this is so good. Try DIY and learn from experience how hard it can be. It's so true. Like, everybody thinks they're an expert at something until they actually try to get it done. And then they're thinking, oh, how do I put this together? Like, you don't know the right steps in the right order sometimes, and they'll come back to you. They'll just come back to you. Especially if you're great at what you do. And even, I've seen this work. You don't have to be the best of the best of the best of the best of everything. I do see the perfectionistic techniques. I'm a perfectionist. I'm sure my mother will let you know. I'm a perfectionist. And so I've had the same thing happen to me, where I'm like, like somebody else does that so much better than me. But here's the funny thing. Only you have certain things that you bring to the table. And those things are going to be helpful for people that are like you. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have like people running this. And then let me see what Sharon says. Freebie, probably giving them a way to report on some manner of their sustainability or renewable level. Yes, absolutely. Giving them a way to report on their sustainability would be awesome. So yeah, something easy for them to do would be great. So yeah, in the end of the day, I'm going to just say that the thing that you think that everybody should know is probably the thing that is your superpower. That's the funny thing that I've found to be true, is that a lot of times we think that everybody should know something, or everybody does know something, and they don't. And so like just being able to share that and connect with people that way is really, really important. So yeah. Okay, let's see. Kim, hey, I've given a recipe to make calming bathroom spray with essential oil. Oh, see, that's like a super easy thing. And then if you sell essential oils, which I'm assuming you are, then you can bring that back together. And, then they're going to say, oh, I need those essential oils to make the recipe. Beautiful. I love that. Excellent. Oh, yeah, your daughter does. Okay. Yeah. So that's great. Awesome. So in the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to, give people something that's going to make them kind of like leaving wanting more from you, like where they're like, oh, it's worth my time to go listen to you. It's worth my time to hang out with you. It's worth my time. And that's really important, because a lot of stuff that's being offered right now, freebies, things like that, they're not all hugely helpful. Like, I don't think like a white paper really works anymore. We used to write these white papers and put them out, and those just don't work as well anymore. And my child is like running a vacuum cleaner. I don't know if you hear that. In the end of the day, that's really important that you don't do that. So, run the vacuum cleaner. I mean, that you don't give out things that are just, not very valuable. So you want something that's valuable, but you can, something that they could do like in like say less than an hour. I like to keep it under an hour. So anything that they can do and actually have a result in under an hour, that's kind of what I'm looking for there. And then they come back to you for the other steps. That's the idea, right? Okay, cool. Well, anyway, I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Next week, we will be going to the last step, which I think I have here right now, which is really about making the pivots and changes in your strategies, both your messaging strategies as well as other little tweaks. And I have this 4-part kind of method that I use that's really, really easy and helpful. So I'll be back here next Thursday at 9:30 Central Time to talk about that. And if you don't want to miss any of the steps, make sure you definitely go and grab our lovely little Pathway to Mastery video series. It's already in there. It's really fun, and it's actually searchable, and you can listen to it. I do this all the time. I love recorded things because later on I can just go and put them on like 1.5 or 1.25 or 1.75 sometimes and listen to them very fast. So yeah, you can do that in my little Pathway to Mastery series. So definitely grab that. And I will talk to you soon, and I'll see you next week. Bye.